It is the bonus episode of the Meta. I am your host, Jay Larson, and joining me, as always, is the one, the only, the fantabulous William Hungerford.
Oh, hello. I didn't get a Dune title this time.
No,
it's fine. I'm not complaining. Just
yeah, I'm trying to. What would William's Dune title be?
Chucky, Kentucky.
There you go. All right, so
Johnny, Louisiana.
We're gonna do questions from the patrons. We've got a few lined up for you. First one, Zap Brannigan says, is Infuse 3 the quote-unquote standard Infuse value, or does it vary based on the hero's bounty?
It varies based on the hero themselves. It's not always equal to their bounty score. In many cases, it's not. But it depends on the power level of the hero and the power level of Infuse. The one thing that's consistent is that veteran heroes typically infuse for cheaper. Champion heroes typically infuse for mid-tier cost, and legendary heroes infuse for the most.
Next one from Zap Brannigan. He says, are there any characters that change more than their weapon power when they infuse?
Most of them, yes, actually. For everybody here doesn't know what we're talking about real fast, it just occurred to me. We're talking about Rivenstone, game I'm currently working on, coming out later this year. And real fast, we started doing a blog series. First, we were doing the lore of the world. Now we're doing like deep dives into the rules every week at brokenanvilminis.com. That's the name of the company I'm with, Broken Anvil Miniatures. So if you want to learn more about what we're talking about, because we're getting some really pointed, specific questions, and you're like, I have no idea where to start, go check that out. Yes, more than just the stats change by far. In the example we showed last week on the Shard Knight, we highlighted how some of his core rules, his abilities, became stronger, affected more models and stuff when he flipped to his Infuse side.
All right, so next question is from Simon. He says, pick a change from the big War Machine update that wasn't on your radar before you left, that you looked at and thought, damn, that's a good change.
There were several. There's a lot of changes. I'm trying to think of all of it right now. There's so much, and to be honest, that was a couple months back now. I'm trying to remember everything that was in that changed. I can't think of one off the top of my head that stuck out to me, but that's nothing against that update. It's just that
yeah. It's been a while.
My brain is on other wavelengths, and it's just so much data I can keep in it at once.
All right, so next set of questions. These are from Bennett. It says, first off, how are you?
I'm good. Making it through this Omicron like everyone else, and but staying busy. Got some familiar faces over here at Broken Anvil with Faye joining us, and just living life as best I can, kind of like everybody else.
Okay. How were your holidays?
My holidays were spent in Louisiana with my mom and other family. My hometown, Lake Charles, was over the last year and a half hit by 2 hurricanes directly, and then like a flood and a freak like flash freeze. So there's been a lot of damage, the town and people's houses. So I spent a lot of my time helping, because people are just now getting to the point where some people are just now getting back in their houses and having to start unpacking things and seeing what's water damaged and what's not and all that kind of stuff. So I had a very busy holiday, kind of working while I was there, but it was good. Good to see family, good to eat, good food.
You had a little bit of trepidation when we last chatted, doing your first kind of big pandemic travel. Did that all go okay for you?
It was weird. It went fine. I went there. The biggest thing for me was, living in Seattle, Washington, where everyone wears a mask, going to Southern Louisiana, where there were no masks, or very few, I should say. That was not the most comfortable experience, but I got there, I got back, I landed in the middle of a snowstorm in Seattle and barely got home, took my COVID tests, and came back negative. So I'm just happy I went and came back and didn't get the Rona.
There and back again.
Yeah.
All right. Next question from Ben Up. He says, "What do you think of the newest Star Trek shows? Prodigy, Picard, Lower Decks, etc."
I have no opinion because I have not seen any of them. I'm
How
also
dare
not a
you,
Star
sir?
Trek. I'm not a Star Trek guy.
I mean,
mean,
that makes sense. You like Batman, so like.
Yes. Don't do it, Jay.
No. I'll just leave it there. It just makes sense.
So I have nothing against Star Trek, for the record. I'm not like Star Trek blah blah. I'm not one of those,
Yeah.
yeah, people that dig Star Trek, cool, but I'm a Star Wars guy, and I'll watch Star Trek with people if it's on, but I've never really gone out of my way. I watched the Next Generation when I was younger, and that's probably the most Star Trek I've seen.
Have you been watching Book of Boba Fett?
I have, yes. What
And
what
what
do you think about it?
I mean, I think it's effing awful.
My thoughts are, there's 4 episodes so far, and I think it has been really tonally strange. So there's episodes I really liked. Like episode 4, I thought was good. Like the most recent one, I liked
I
it.
mean,
I mean, him
was
getting the
episode
shit
4
back.
good, or it just you're like, oh my god, they didn't completely put a disaster on the screen like episode 3?
No, I thought episode 4, like when he,
Okay.
we finally see that he got the shit back. How he got the shit back? He goes and takes the bikers out after everything they've done, and like
Has the
drop.
ridiculous scene of his ship doing a pap smear on the Sarlacc pit.
My God, I never needed you to say it that way, Jay. I never needed you to phrase it like that. So, like, there's been stuff I thought that was cool, and then like I personally like the modder biker gang with the multicolored speeders. What wasn't for me?
One of my favorite comments. One of my friends said, like, "Oh, I didn't realize it was Pentatonics week."
Jesus. Like, you know what it was about the speeder guys, that the gang that if that had been on Coruscant and you told me there's a modder gang with like,
Sure, yeah,
I'd have been like, that kind of fits Coruscant. But I guess for me, when I saw them on Tatooine, I was like, wait, what? And that threw me off a little bit. Was just they felt so like high tech and flashy compared to, I don't know, the dirt and dinge I'm used to on the Sand Planet. But I'm enjoying aspects of Boba Fett.
okay. Well, I'm glad that you have the capacity to feel joy. So that is good.
I do. I'm a joyful human being. You know what is really good though? What is fantastic show right now?
What?
Peacemaker.
Yeah, that's one I'm wanting to watch. Another HBO show I'm watching right now has been really good so far. Has been Station 11.
I've heard good things about Station 11.
It does have
Midnight Mass, and then
Midnight Mass was really good. Yeah.
Yeah, we're finishing that. We got 1 episode left of that, and then Peacemaker's been phenomenal, and then Station 11's on the list.
Yeah, the main downside of Station 11 is that it's a post-apocalyptic show about the apocalypse being a pandemic. So
That's fine.
Okay. Okay, next question. I'm hearing buzz on Dice Throne. Have you played that?
No, I've not played Dice Throne. I've heard the same buzz. I've not had a chance to mess with it yet. So,
okay. Next question. How is Rivenstone coming along?
Very well. We have a lot of the graphic design on some of the major elements done, like all the token sheets, the measurement tools, dice, a lot of the cards. So the next big chunk of graphic design work is the layout of the entire rulebook, and then it's pretty much ready. So there'll be little odds in it, but it's moving along at a really good clip.
Nice. That is exciting. All right, so next question, a little bit more serious. He says, with all the news coming from the video game industry concerning discouraging unions from on high, sexual harassment scandals, and the like, does it make you turn a critical eye on the tabletop industry as well?
I wouldn't say it makes me turn a critical eye on the tabletop industry. I think we should always have a critical eye on every industry that we're in for that kind of stuff. It's unfortunate that this stuff happens so long and nobody finds out about it. And then years later, you're like, oh yeah, this, X, Y, or Z companies had a harassment problem for years.
Yeah.
But that unfortunately happens in every industry. The tabletop industry is not any different. It's, we've had our share of scandals over the years. And I think people should always be vigilant and keep an eye on that kind of stuff. And if somebody comes and tells you they're experiencing something like that, listen, don't blow it off.
One of the things that I've appreciated I'll use Atomic Mass as an example, but they are pretty explicit when posting social media or solicitations or whatever for positions that they're particularly looking for a diverse pool of candidates, which I think is something that's great. So
yeah, absolutely.
That's an example of it's easy to get discouraged by, I guess, the bad examples, but it's also I do feel like there are people or companies that are trying to bring about change or be good companies.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's I say Broken Anvil. There's a lot of companies, AMG, Broken Anvil, plenty of others that I consider and think of that are trying to be progressive and open and inclusive. So yeah, like you said, when you hear those bad things, don't let it discourage you from really any industry, because I think it's the unfortunate truth that no matter what industry you're in, groceries, retail, video games, there's always going to be some chain out there that's going to have that kind of problem somewhere. The only thing you do is just keep an eye out for it and report it or do what you can about it if you find out about
it. Kind of a follow-up question on this one. He says, what do you think are the areas in the industry that you think that they have the most room for improvement, or where we could be doing better?
It's a tough question, but we're still the tabletop industry is still very much we could always do better in inclusivity, and we see a lot of companies working towards that, but just for the longest time the tabletop industry has catered to a very specific and narrow demographic, and we're seeing that open up more and more and more constantly, and just making sure that there's something for everyone and that everyone feels welcome in any community. And a lot of we have our great communities, we have our toxic communities, and it's hard because it's like what does the industry do about that? Part of that is what can the manufacturers do versus what can the retailers do at the community level, where they have people in their stores fostering those kind of communities. What are certain game makers doing that might be fostering that kind of behavior and possibly inadvertently encouraging people to act that way? So I think there's always room for improvement to try and just make gaming supposed to be about sitting down, meeting people, playing with your friends, and having fun, not screaming racial slurs at somebody over the internet. And that's something to always just watch out for and figure out how to make better. But it's such a difficult thing. It's like such a collaborative effort on multiple levels to try and get there.
All right. Some lighter questions now. What's the spiciest thing you've ever eaten?
There are some. So there's a lot of really spicy, but the spiciest thing I've ever eaten. There's a Thai restaurant, U District here in Seattle. They do the normal star system, 1 through 5 stars, how spicy you want. And one time when asking, how many stars was it, I was having a conversation with somebody, and I guess I got distracted, and the guy making it was like being super friendly, and I was like, oh, you know what, just make it how you like it, like just make it whatever works for you. I'll try that. And that was the spiciest thing I've ever put in my mouth. That was beyond 5 stars. That was the secret 7th star.
Okay.
It was good though, but boy.
All right. In a world where it is increasingly unlikely that COVID will disappear forever, what do you think the future for conventions is?
I wish I had the answer. The future of conventions is going to be what the future of, normal day-to-day life is. And that's really hard to know where that goes. I mean, if COVID never goes away, it just becomes, part of the world like other diseases have, and where you get vaccinated when you're young, and then, COVID hopefully weakens and maybe you get it, but it's mild symptoms and it's just the rest of our life. And things maybe slowly return back to normal, where we're going back into game stores without masks on and playing stuff like that. Then, conventions return to normal. But I can't say that that's what's going to happen. That's a crystal ball I don't have, and I wish I did.
It is. It is kind of funny. Like we've talked about this before, I think, but like, we would just go to conventions and joke about getting crud, and
yeah,
just not pay any mind to it. And I feel so like callow and naive now looking back.
There's little things you like when you think about going to Haunted Mansion at Disney and standing in the circular room packed to the gills with other people, right?
Yeah.
And everyone's looking up, mouth open at the ceiling, and and it's like, you know what? If COVID becomes just a daily part of the life that we have, and it's like smallpox, or polio, and there's vaccines we can get when we're young, and we're mostly safe from it. There will be many years where people are still wearing masks and being safe and keeping their distance. But 20 years from now, will we be back in the crammed room with our mouths open? Probably. I hope we get back there, and I hope I can stare up, mouth agape, breathing in everyone else's, and that everything's okay.
All right. So next question. He says, any tabletop games you're looking forward to in 2022?
Rivenstone. Yeah, I'm obviously, I say that jokingly, but also, yeah, I'm really waiting for our
Excited
game.
to see how the community responds.
Yeah, I mean, everyone who's played it has really liked it, and so when Faye started, Faye joined us, and day one, Faye and I sat down and played the game, right, and walked her through the game and everything. And Faye and I have worked together for quite some time, so. There's a lot of people giving me like, oh, this game is fun. I'm like, oh, that's awesome. It makes me really happy. And there's people I've like worked with professionally when they tell me this game is great. I guess it has a lot of weight to it because I've worked with them. And so we finished our first game. Faye like sets her dice down, looks at me, and she's like, this game is really fun. And I was like this sort of like, I felt this like weight kind of come off. And I was like, yes, that is exactly what I wanted to hear you say. So I'm really excited for it to get out into everyone else's hands and hear everyone else's responses, what they like, what they don't like, see people playing it. Aside from that, in 2022, what am I looking forward to? There's not a game coming out in 2022 specifically. I'm actually looking at a lot of games I haven't had a chance to play yet that I'm interested in, that I hopefully will be able to pick up soon. Right now, my current research project is I'm looking at a Bloodborne board game from Cool Mini. It has really cool looking miniatures, and I love Bloodborne and Dark Souls video games. So I'm sort of reading up, and I love dungeon crawlers. So I'm sort of reading up what it's all about and if it's fun and if it would be a good purchase. Because, it's like $110 for the box set.
Yeah.
I just want to make sure that it's going to be a good time.
Any video games you're looking forward to in 2022?
Man, I'm trying to find a PS5. My thing I want is a PS5. If I can find one, I'm on every Twitter alert and Discord bot and everything that'll tell me when one's available. I'm on the Sony Direct email as soon as one can't get one, because I absolutely want Elden Ring, which comes out next month.
Yeah.
Rumor is that Breath of the Wild 2 will be out. Gotta play that. I'm interested to see what this Abandoned game is, because there's all this scuttlebutt that it's actually secretly a Silent Hill game. Obviously, if a Silent Hill comes out on anything, I'm going to lose my mind, get it immediately. And then Gotham Knights, Suicide Squad, Kill the Justice League. I have a lot of games, actually. But my main thing that I will jump up and down for joy for is if I can get a PS5 in 2022.
Nice. And any movies or series?
The Batman. The Batman comes out in March, and the
Batman might be coming out in March.
Yeah, that'll set the tone for the rest of my year. And then I'm looking forward to what cool Star Wars and Marvel series come out on Disney Plus. And then the DC shows on HBO Max have just been killing it. I loved Doom Patrol. Peacemaker has been phenomenal. I have enjoyed Titans, so I know there's going to be a season 4 of Titans. There's going to be a season 4 of Doom Patrol. I'm sure they will do season 2 of Peacemaker, given how well this one's being received. So I'm just excited to see more of that stuff.
Have you been watching the origin series of Alfred?
No, that's I don't know, what is that streaming on? Because I don't think I have the service. But is it on HBO?
Yeah.
No, I haven't seen it. It's called Pennyworth, right?
Yes.
Yeah, no, I have not watched it, and I didn't realize it was on HBO because
I just saw an ad for it on HBO today, so that I didn't even know about it until I saw that ad for it.
Okay, because I was about to say my we recommend you watch on HBO Max is like nothing but DC stuff and
Right,
like horror
yeah.
movies, and it had never popped up, so I just didn't even realize it was available.
Yeah, I think it might be a recent thing.
Well, I will have to start watching.
What is on your painting table right now, Will?
Right now is 5 cores of Zinch and a Bella core.
Okay,
I play a lot of Warhammer 40k.
nice. Next question: have you been following the new Henschhold scrolls, and if so, any favorite posts?
No, I have not been following them. And I have been seeing, because I'm still in a lot of the War Machine groups on social media, so I've seen people's reactions to. They've been. I won't spoil anything for someone who hasn't read them yet, but there's been some major. What's that?
There's a lot going on.
Yeah, there's a lot going on. So, but no, I haven't been.
All right. Well, is there anything else that we didn't cover that's exciting going on with you?
Just again, for people that want to start getting into the nitty gritty, the granular rules, come check out the blog every week at brokenanvilminis.com. Because tomorrow we're showing off all the dice maps and what all the icons mean, and every week we're gonna, as we just build closer and closer to, more information about the release of the game, we're going to be just diving in and showing stuff, going into faction cards, faction play styles, all kinds of stuff. We have a lot of stuff to cover. So there's just going to be constant weekly flow of Rivenstone information, which if anyone has any questions they want after reading that stuff and want to ask it, this show in particular, this is the only regular Q&A show where it's open Q&A, because a lot of other podcasts I do, we have a specific topic where we're talking about X, Y, or Z. And so Jay's show is the most open Q&A I do. So it's a good venue if you have any pointed questions about something you read in the blog.
If you have any questions about what is Will's favorite way to eat alligator, this is the place to send them.
Fried in a po' boy with remoulade sauce.
Okay, well, there you go. All right, well, Will, thank you for making time in your schedule to chat with us again.
Thank you, Jay, for everything you do and for being Jay, for being one of the most delightful.
Oh,
it's true.
Oh, you flatterer.
I mean, all right, you're just a delightful person.
All right, well, thank you again, and we will chat with you next month.
Goodbye.